All right, we're back. New games today. But you know, as crazy as some of these games have been, as exciting as it might be to see the upsets of Guangdong over D+, the real excitement today is that I've really outdone myself on cooking lunch. So I made myself huedopap, which is basically the Korean word for sashimi, and it's like bibimbap but with raw fish. So I have onions, cucumbers, carrots, tomatoes, avocado, seaweed, all with a gochujang sauce and a little sesame oil, and it's fucking delicious. So, we're excited for League of Legends, but I'm actually more excited just to eat this in front of you. You discovered huedopap the other day at a local Korean restaurant? Yes, it's a great thing to discover. Yes, it's like Korean poke bibimbap. Yes, correct. And you mix it all up together. Oh, throwing it on the floor. My bowl is too full. My bowl is too full. So I had some leftover hui that I had frozen. So I pulled it out of the freezer and defrosted it and cut it up into tiny little pieces and made this. And it is glorious. The bowl definitely runneth over. The bowl definitely runneth over. See? Now it's all mixed up. Then we can eat it. Mmm. Did Face Off ruin the possibility of naming children Castor and Pollux? No. Everybody's gonna think Gemini. Nobody's gonna think Face Off. Right. I'm ordering the variety pack of liquid IV. Oh, thank you. I actually like the what is it? The sea berry? I forget what it's called. It's like some Tibetan fruit I had never heard of, but it's actually really good. I like the caffeinated one with the pineapple yuzu as well. That one's banging. Because they have pear now. Sea berry. Yeah, that one's super good. Would recommend. The watermelon one's also really good. Did I ever make yukejang at home? I love yukejang, but I have not made it at home. I'm a big yukejang fan. For what you guys, for those of you guys who don't know, that is that's like a beef tartare. It's raw beef, and they usually serve it with Asian pear and like sesame oil. It's very good. Oh man, guys, this is so good. The fish I use is bango, which is I don't know what it is in. I don't know what it is in English. It's in Korea. It's a winter delicacy. Because the fish is fattier in the winter. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is in English. I know what it is in Korean. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. I will figure this out. It's also eaten in Japan. I also don't know the Japanese name of it, but it is really good. But it's like a very fatty fish in the winter. Oh, here it goes. It's a Japanese amberjack. It's called hamachi in Japan. Bango. Japanese amberjack. That's what it is. That's its English name. Yeah, especially in wintertime. It's a winter fish. Is that the same as yellowtail? I believe so. I believe so. Hamachi is a Japanese name. How does Vulcan have 300 viewers in Pobelter's 4.6? Pobelter's made a very successful streaming career for himself. So yeah, hamachi is what it is in Japan. And somebody mentioned halibut. Halibut is also very common in Korean sashimi and hue. And it's called kwangol. It's actually my favorite kind of like standard hue dish. Kwangol. The ol just means fish. Well, it's used to designate fish. Let's put it that way. Did you watch the DK versus Genji game? I did. And you too can watch it with my opinions if you subscribe to my VODs channel. It's all right there for you. This is a Japanese amberjack. Yes, Korean bango hue. This is what it is. It looks like this, but I cut it up into small pieces. All right, I'm excited for Guangdong versus D+. This should be fun. Or I need to get my pen. My digital pen.
Loss against what could be the best team.
Oh, God. Too loud, sorry.
And then plummet afterwards. I want to see them get back on the horse and actually make something happen.
Over on YouTube. You know it's Monty content piece if he mentions the sponsored as an off comment. But for real, Liquid IV has changed my life for the last 6 months. Man, it is great.
I have to imagine that is where I'd be going if I were in control of this draft right now. Unless they have a counter plan in mind. Bulldogs, Corky, another.
All right, so let me make sure my pen is working. I have started to stream on YouTube too, guys. I have not. I'm not going to be as responsive over there because I'm not going to be looking at it all the time, but I will try and respond occasionally when you deserve it. Perfect. Perfect.
One they don't want to deal with, just in general.
Where is Dread these days? Great question. I have no idea. I'm sad. Have I watched these matches yet? Nope. Do I know who's shot calling on Guangdong? I do not, but I might be able to find out. I'll see if Wolf can figure it out.
Lucid would do to him every single match in Challenger. Lucid kind of like, if you weren't a Challenger enjoyer over the last couple of years, Lucid kind of was the Superman of Challenger. He was just so incredibly good. So Bull is finally going to get a little bit of attention, although that might go a little bit closer towards Andil, as the Ashe is going to be taken away here. And Bull continue.
We got some custom sub badges. Dude, we got emotes coming. We got all kinds of crazy shit coming, by the way. There's tons of crazy shit. So if you guys sub, I am plowing that money right back into the stream. And what I'll say is in a couple weeks, you're going to be surprised by what this stream looks like. I'm doing something that I'm doing some shit that no one else is doing. I figured out some really cool shit, guys. During the off season, I kind of went deep into what would be possible in streams. And so I came up with some good ideas. I needed to get a bunch of art assets made for them. So I've been commissioning a Tantalos to make it. But I'm trying to make it more fun for you guys. Oh, Najafan, let me just mod you. You're in here all the time. Thank you, Uber Blacktorn, for your 5 community gift subs. That's very generous of you. Thank you, Kaelnar. Yeah, unfortunately, they're like Twitch is like nerfing Prime subs, which sucks a lot. Thank you, Uber Blackthorn. That was very nice of you. All those subs. Gonna flash a Price is Right type logo when a new pick happens. It's stuff like that, but not annoying. Zerschneiden. Thank you for your Twitch Prime sub. Dankeschön, Zerschneiden. It's not just the regional pricing. It's the fact that even US ones are like $2 now. Yeah, it's regional pricing. So you get the money from, depending on where the person's from. And then also, like, it used to just act like a normal sub in the US. And so now it's worth like $1 less than it was previously. So it's pretty frustrating. Thank you. Small token of thanks to the decade plus of free entertainment. Well, the free entertainment is off the rails this year, guys. It's going to be more entertaining and more free. I don't know what that second part means, but it's even freer. Okay. Let me do a little introduction for this. So this matchup is really interesting, guys, because if you haven't been paying attention to LCK, Kwangdong had a really miserable first week of games, and Taeyun, their AD carry, was a big part of that. He was constantly getting caught out, kind of like throwing games. And we expected more from this Kwangdong roster because they made some exciting moves. Mostly they brought in Cuz to the jungle from KT. And Cuz really did have like a very good last 6 months of 2023 in Worlds. Dudu was low-key one of the best top laners in the LCK and is the more veteran player on a roster full of young guys. Bulldog had shown some flashes, but, was kind of inconsistent. Andal probably could have been better. But they brought up Bull, who's a new AD carry from their Challenger squad. That's Bull on your screen right now. He is quite interesting as a player. He is a Draven specialist. When they played D+, now they beat D+, using Bull, which was super exciting. D+ tried to like ban away or like pick away the Draven, and they lost in the third game. When Deft was playing Draven, and they gave Bull Callista. And what's been fun is that Bull is really aggressive, and he seems to be very kind of cocky and charismatic. So it was really fun watching him like pop off on stage afterwards. So he's very expressive. And, talking to some of the Korean casters, the guys who were casting Challengers last year, because I hadn't seen any Bull, they said he really was not very remarkable. But I looked up his lane stats, and even though his team was terrible and he had like a 22% win rate, he was ahead in lane by substantial amounts in 58% of his games. So I think he was kind of an overperformer in the laning phase. And maybe now that he's with some more veteran players like Cuz, who can shot call better, they may be able to better use his strengths. So like beating up on Deft in the first game was very impressive. Now, Guangdong win this series 2-0. And that's surprising because D Plus has been looking better and better. Last week, Showmaker had some really good games. They played, D Plus played Gen.G very close. They almost 2-0'd that series. Ended up losing 1-2, but, you know, almost won game 2 as in addition to game 1. Showmaker had like a Kassadin pentakill last week. He was looking like he was in some of the best form since we've seen him play in the last couple years. So yeah, like this is like Andal was kind of bad too, but this is very surprising. Lucid is obviously the very hype rookie. So we kind of have 3 hype rookies in the LCK right now. You know, it started with Perfect over on KT. And then we've got Lucid, the new jungler replacing Canyon, who is really hyped coming out of Challenger. And then these were known as being very good. And then all of a sudden, Bull in like the last week has been very fun to watch. So that's where we're at coming into this match. So those are the stakes, guys. I'm trying to get better about like telling you guys what the stakes of the matches are.
Continuing to be a bit vocal, and he has been pretty outspoken just in general. Like this guy, like, yeah, his stats may have looked bad. It did not affect his opinion on who he is as a player at all, guys.
No, absolutely not.
It's not even a thing.
So let's see if this is going to be a Callista ban. If there's
All right, so Bull was, or I mean, Bulldog. Sorry, there's 2 players named Bull something. Bulldog did play some Corki, no Ash. All right, we're going to take Rumble away from Kingen and Rel. Now, Lucid has also been playing Sejuani very well, but Sejuani is also frequently banned against Cuz because it's one of his best champions. He's like Sejuani Viego guy.
Leaving Callista up just is, yeah,
that's kind of crazy to me. They leave Callista up, but they're actually going to take Senna.
Yeah.
All right.
Of this over the course of his career, but we know Kwangdong likes their Senna comps. And it was played a lot in Challengers too. Bull has played a ton of different combinations of this. Over
there you
the
go.
Of his
so
career,
Wolf providing the context here that
interesting. You know,
he's played a lot of different versions of Senna.
There's a lot of different things they can play with the Senna, so I don't want to speculate here. So probably it will be either Milio Lucian or perhaps Milio Aphelios, depending on what, as we know.
So Oriana's still up here. Udyr taken by Kingen. They're actually going to go for the Aatrox right now, so saving some of their picks. So this will be, we're still on 14-1, so this will still be the double support itemization.
The Aphelios there as well. I think that Lucian, you can so incredible. Nailed it last time.
It's a little bit more. A massive.
So now the Oriana is going to be banned. Azir is going to be banned versus Bulldog. Niku is going to be banned. So it's just all targeted mid laners right now, and Trist.
The value of Maokai is actually quite high right now.
Yeah, and it's much
so LeBlanc for Showmaker.
Because they have the Milio, right? You can just ult out
classic Showmaker champion.
Nature's Grasp if you'd like to. So LeBlanc going to come through here yet again. Showmaker was the one that went.
This has been played less in the LCK than in other leagues. Like it's been played a lot in China and LEC, but less LeBlanc and LCK overall.
Yeah, which is very strange and thematically makes no sense, and it bothers me, Wolf.
Okay, it looks like we might see the Talia come through here. You just press ult on
Talia has been much more common in LCK than in other regions so far.
Pressure on in mid after you get out of the laning phase. So, I mean,
and the Viego. I mean, this is not surprising. Again, this composition is going to be very good at flanking, isolating a target with the wall or with a Nautilus hook or a Nautilus ult, bursting them, and then having Viego resets. This is just a Cuz composition. It's how he likes to play League of Legends. We know that. Lucid on the Lee Sin. So Sejuani just actually falls all the way through the draft. Very unusual for both of these teams to allow that to happen.
If she gets a root A for Kwangdong, a decent performance against
can boast, and she really can shut down. Kwangdong Freaks versus D+ here.
So
ready. D+ are grouped up and ready to go. Bulldog gonna be able to skate his way out of this one. So gets the information.
All right, just trying to invade early, counter invade on the opposite side. So what DK is trying to do right now is try and set up probably for some vertical jungling. They don't actually see anybody there.
Of course, counterwise get that ward on Raptors on the top side to see where Lucid is starting. That's all very standard, all very good.
Yep.
Okay.
Lucid, I believe, will be spotted moving towards his red buff. And we are just going to have vision down, junglers discovered, and then laning ensue.
Yep.
Just the ward handshake. Yep, that's right.
Even
Washed
if
up.
the Talia rocks, you know, putting that down against all of these dashes, all of the
Beluga 12-3. Thank you. Wow, subscription for 6 months in advance. Very nice. You love to see it.
Can be quite strong, but you're still very vulnerable as Talia. You know, we've talked about this a lot. Where
I will commit to streaming for 6 months in advance. How about that? All the streams this year, guys.
She feels very fragile, and if you fall behind and she doesn't have burst damage, she encounters any other champion, she dies in the 1v1 to Illusion, for example. That's not going to feel great. So you have to really hit those flips. You have to, you know, hit them in the early game. You cannot fall behind. Got to hit the hooks too.
Nicely played by aiming, or a little bit of a slight miss on the hook from Andil. It's okay. Either way, aiming not going to get struck and able to offer a little bit of damage back onto Bull. Looks like D+ should be able to get themselves that level 2. As Kingen, he's just having a great time just being Udyr. See whether Kingen can find himself.
Does anybody really have a great time just being Udyr?
The biggest thing that
it's not that fun.
Need to achieve if they do want to be that top team here in the LCK. They really do need to fix their issues that have lain mainly in the top lane.
Mainly in the top lane so far. And Kingen has been, you know, I'd say the most average top laner at times, and I think we're not quite hitting the average mark just yet. We're slightly.
What am I eating? Huedobap.
Yeah.
It's like Korean poke. It's delicious.
Be able to prox this wave. Always get scared when they do the first attempt.
I always get confused when, you know, we go up to the top lane and then Kingen's like just doing a drive-by of the enemy turret. But this has been happening the majority of the time.
You'll have some proxy farming with this Udyr. Good times.
Quick recall as well if you would like to.
And I suppose we should let everyone know, most people are probably aware that we're still on the 14.1 mid as Cuz.
Yeah, Kingen's just gonna
Conqueror's procced.
You know, hit him and stuff. And be a turtle.
He doesn't do anything to him.
No, he's not technically a turtle and a phoenix and things.
Yeah, this is when the junglers fight and they both call for help.
Yep.
Hey, I'm fighting.
Will you raise your kids to be bilingual? Well, that's why I'm in Korea right now, so my kid can go to Korean school for a while.
Win out on this one.
Yep, able to give himself the Rift Scuttler. You can see where.
Why was the second support item never bought at the first buy? Because you would be all in level 1 and pooped on.
That's what I was going to mention. You know, 14.1
There's so many level 1 fights that are going on, especially with the new map architecture and teams like wrapping around. You would actually just get shat on.
Be a bit snared.
Yeah, just a little bit annoyed, but no permanent damage there. As the Doran's blade start here for Showmaker, does kind of allude to a bit of an AD build.
How would you feel if your son became a TSM fan?
I'm here for it. In this
what?
Like
where's TSM?
Kind of
they gone. It's not even possible.
Yeah, that's.
All right, the best case scenario for TSM is they like get some team in China or like co-brand with another team like Ninjas in Pajamas and nobody actually gives a shit anymore. Even if they come back, they're just going to be the zombie version of TSM and nobody's going to care. 80 LeBlanc never looks convincing for me. Oh, my friend. Go watch some night games. Go watch BLG versus Top Esports and you tell me, buddy, that it doesn't look convincing.
Yeah,
Dudu was like, I actually have to hit these things. Kanan's like, I just stand near you. So
yeah.
You missed, so I don't think you're winning.
Slight item advantage here, of course, for Kingen as he went back a little earlier. Let's see whether Dudu can
yeah, those early recalls are
really impacted his farm too much.
So annoying. Oh, Dudu's doing a very good job of farming despite the proxying that's been going on.
Cuz dealing with an Udyr in his jungle a little. Otherwise, not really too worried. And we'll see whether Lucid can make some of these big Lee Sin plays. This rookie has so many.
Yeah, that's the other thing is Riot has to let TSM back into a tier 1 region. Remember, they denied TSM. They denied TSM a Valorant partnership slot because of Reggie's shenanigans. Like they finally got rid of him. Why would they let him back? Maybe China would let him back because Riot couldn't control that. But it's hard to imagine that they'd be cool with him just reappearing in a different region.
I think very good into Talia, and it's itemization here for Kwangdong Freaks is, oh boy, these hooks just hit every time.
Yeah, fire kick is going to be there though from Kellen. Should disrupt just a little.
Does NIP have any control of the team? Nah, I think that it's just a branding deal, and probably it's just all run out of China. I don't think anybody in fucking Sweden and NIP is like micromanaging a Chinese league roster. They wouldn't know what the fuck they were doing.
You know, it's just really helping this laning phase quite significantly here for Bull and Andil to get through the rough parts of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, just standing up here with those cues is Bull.
Ooh, nice little pullback there as Kingen just slapping. And he'll be fine.
Stop showing us this.
Yeah, I know. It's like, there's somewhat action. And if you guys have ever been in the spectator client with directed camera, it spends most of the time in the top lane if there are two melee champions up there, because they just keep slapping each other, and it doesn't really mean too much. And it's just what it reminds me of every single time. Jonah Strong, of course, is just checking in to see whether there is going to be an all-in or something like that, but that's optimism,
Yeah.
to say the least.
I'm not feeling it right now.
Aatrox's lane going surprisingly well. He's got a Hex Drinker now, too.
The jungle for a minute and had a fight with Cuz. That was the most exciting part of top lane. It wasn't even really technically top lane at all, was it?
Yeah, no,
Pretty
that was-
passive early game.
though.
We're just seeing vertical jungling and kind of the map being split here.
I mean, you know, there have been top lane metas, and sometimes actually on this patch we have seen like Yone and stuff where people do die and solo kills do happen.
Yeah, I agree. The AD LeBlanc is like a little bit weird,
It's just this.
considering that you don't have very much AP damage. It is true though that LeBlanc, even in AD form, does deal a decent amount of AP damage, but it does kind of feel like Frozen Heart itemization is just free as fuck here. Right, and remember that the Nautilus is going to have an abnormal amount of gold, so he's going to be able to build armor and get really good value because of the double support item. So he can stop at Bami Cinder right now and do what LS says and build Frozen Heart, which is definitely more efficient.
Had him higher on their lists, and Can try to bounce back here.
Big fan of my work. Sucks LCK LPL is on 14.1.
As that one's not gonna land.
Doesn't bother me so much.
I feel like aiming has started to respect Arndel's hooks. After
Next
that
week it should be on
first one,
14.2, I would
he got
imagine.
A little bit complacent, but now Relentless Pursuit's going on cooldown when he sees the windup.
Yeah.
And does make some sense.
That should be Dragon going over here to Kwangdong Freak, so at least going to start it here. Showmaker doesn't have teleport.
Yeah, double support item is cringe, guys, but
Push Lucid away from this.
not my favorite, but it's not so horrible to watch compared to other horrible to watch League of Legends metas.
Gonna be able to grab both,
Remember Black Cleaver times?
you know, the Void Buffs and this Hextech Drake. To see
Remember
how it
Ardent
goes. So,
Censor? There were worse
as far as
metas.
global objectives are concerned, you can see Kwangdong Freak's doing a fantastic job in this early stage of the game.
And there's a slight CS advantage for Showmaker, but he hasn't been able to put on any lethal pressure to Bulldog.
What happened to Freeze Pipe?
Major ganks here.
They might
He
be
is
back like
just
closer to
constantly
420.
pushing him out of the lane with those autos, but,
You know, a lot of these advertisers have cycles that they work in.
They have both objectives on lock,
So, you know,
it's,
they've got certain parts of the years that they want to hit
Nope, don't be fooled.
So yeah, Freeze Pipe might be back later.
So, you know,
Ang
it's a
Fonz,
little bit
thanks
slow
for
down
your
here,
Prime
but
subscription.
This mid game is looking great for Kwangdong Freaks right now, and ooh, getting a flash.
Yeah, Showmaker actually probably assuming that Cuz was a little bit closer by. But I do like respecting that. You saw Showmaker there in the play.
Can you explain why lethality feels unfazed by armor stacking? Well, because they changed it. And it's definitely not unfazed by armor stacking, by the way. Once you get like a Frozen Heart and like another armor item, it's very hard for those lethality champions to kill you. Thank you, Utsi Lol. I appreciate it.
As the culling is going to be thrown into Arndil. Does have some armor, so he's able to at least survive. Does soften him up a little bit, but Aiming and Callan looking like they're hitting their
Yaro, thank you for your Twitch Prime sub. You guys are very generous today.
Very important to put some pressure on down there as Kingen continues to put as much of a shove into a turret as he can, then runs around trying to do things. He and Lucid might try to make a play here mid. Bulldog still has flash.
Yep, rocks it down. There's the flash kick, and Bulldog is really dead, guys. Beautiful first blow
Well,
goes to D+, and Lucid's
not much you can do there.
Looking pretty good here, as due to his fighting Kingen, who just wants to kill minions, it offers him a boot in response.
Yeah, I feel like it's just constantly Kingen coming behind the turret, stealing minions.
Do I read YouTube chat? Yes, I have been reading YouTube chat from time to time.
He gets mad about it. That's just kind of how this top lane is going.
Yep.
Kingen's like, I'm going to take these minions and I'm going to proxy, and dude is like, I'm not going to let you do that. And he's like, too bad I ran away, I moved here. And that's kind of what's been going on up there. He didn't get involved in the mid play, even though he had that.
Have I watched the Disney Plus show?
But
Which
really
Disney
nice
Plus show?
catch on Bulldog. Bulldog doesn't even flash, knows he is doomed.
I assume you're talking about Percy Jackson? Yeah, we've been getting a lot of requests for that. We'll probably do it.
On the play coming around from
Zeps9565, thank you.
Missed opportunity there from Cuz.
Can you get a deodorant sponsor? We are actually working on doing some like men's hygiene sponsors.
Surprised by that since that was always going to be a possibility with how many times Showmaker shoved this wave in. Now that CS gap is significantly higher than it was before.
Yeah. They are still going to be able to grab.
Do you review the Blue Eye Samurai? Yeah, that episode's done. It should come out soon, maybe today.
Quantum Freaks with the Void Might assistance on their shove. That's if they're able to actually get towards these turrets.
Yeah.
I have to sort of rearrange how I'm.
All right, so 6 Void Grubs over now. Very slow early game.
Really well. Showmaker in a side lane is going to be so incredibly annoying. Just with the amount of AD that he'll have, the ability to destroy turrets is very, very high. So I'm going to check this out one more time.
So look at this. He's like, I'm going to try to get him one. Let me just try this. Boom.
I mean, there's no counterplay there. You don't flash that because you're dead.
He also had a control ward there, so he knew. They didn't know. Got him.
Indeed.
Oh man, Showmaker, when he's happy, you just love to see it.
Right? He is definitely named correctly here in the LCK. And that was less true last year, but certainly...
Do you consume non-English media?
Good to see him come
I've been watching Gyeongsong Creature, the K-drama, recently.
So first blood going to D+,
But yeah.
but nothing really to show that as far as what the gold looks like, and Cuz might be able to return the favor here towards his top side. Cullen going to be utilized, but let's check this out and see whether Kingen can survive. Teleport going to be used from Showmaker to try and get himself in here to help out, and he does make it towards the top lane.
All right, forced TP out of Showmaker. So 1 for 1. The game is super close, like only 200 difference right now.
A bit of a miss, unfortunately, on the shove there for Bulldog to interrupt the teleport, but still going to be Showmaker's teleport down here. Bulldog can shove this wave in. Showmaker's going to run down, won't miss anything here, so nothing too significant, but did feel like, you know, a bit of a waste. He wasn't able to get anything down there. And
I agree, Wolf. It was a bit of a waste to go ahead and use that. There was very little counterplay, especially when you are considering there's possibly a Senna ult coming in from the bot lane.
As, yep, DRX skin throwing it off. A sign in the ground right in front of his turret.
I know, man. Can't feel fantastic. I do.
I haven't seen Dark. I've heard it's good though.
That teleport from Showmaker. Maybe he wanted Bulldog to come up and try to interrupt it, and then be interrupted and then kill him.
I wondered about that.
1x and the truth on Thunder Talk. Yeah, I'm excited to see more Thunder Talk too.
Does he like it? Like, is that actually a good thing? I was a little bit concerned myself, but doesn't come up with it and will not die to Showmaker, at least on that exchange. I'm not ready to say that's going to be the case for the rest of this game, though, with how big Showmaker is rapidly becoming. Does have that Shiv first. That's not the big spike, but it is a small one.
As Lucid is going to look to come over. Glasscone gets himself out of there. Not going to be kicking anyone just yet. I was thinking that maybe that would be a play, but there weren't anyone around. There wasn't anyone around, if I was going to say it correctly. His chain is going to connect onto Bull. Showmaker almost gets it.
What?
Wow! That pick.
What was that hook?
That maybe that would be a play, but there weren't anyone around. There wasn't anyone around, if I was going to say it correctly. His chain is going to connect onto Bull. Showmaker almost gets it. And wow! That pickoff was...
That looked so janky, guys. I wonder if this is just a graphics bug and it actually hit the hitbox before he flashed. I fucking love Nautilus, man. Look at this. How does this hit? It like, is it a wrong angle and then it just teleports to him? It's also the Z-axis. I don't know, man. I mean, it shouldn't be that long anyway. I think it's a visual bug. I think he was hooked before he flashed, maybe. Or like, the flash was buffered after he was hooked.
That pickoff was incredible from Ondil. And there goes Kellen. But now, Cuz looking to pop off into that backline. He picks up the kill.
All right, let's take a look at this more in depth from Kwangdong.
Come up with it and will not die to Showmaker, at least on that exchange. I'm not,
because, you know, they don't have Senna ult here. You know, they don't have Viego ult. And D+, okay, so there's no culling on this side.
Does have that Shiv first. That's not the big spike, but it is a small one.
But Bulldog gets the first rotation in. And you can see right here, and they have the push up. So right now, this is actually a 4 versus 3 on this side of the map. No top laner is going to join. All TPs are down.
Glasscone gets himself out of there. Not going to be kicked.
So they're able to clear out vision. Place Pink Ward here just to prevent them from seeing how low the Drake gets. Aiming's finally coming over, but it's just too late. You know, right now, he can smite right there. And then he gets the hero hook. I mean, D+ is doing the right thing and trying to disengage, but after the Milio gets hooked, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, Kellen uses heal. He uses Milio ult.
That pickup was incredible from Ondil. And there goes Kellen, but now Cuz looking to pop off into that backline. He picks up the kill on the Lucian. Aiming can't do anything, and Kwangdong Freaks just demolished D+.
Yeah, the Dragon is secured as well, and this composition is so good at skirmishing in the mid game. If you don't have any big hiccups in the early,
you can't flash after you've been hooked. Even you really
so easy to
like. I wouldn't think so either, but maybe there's like a fringe case where it's like buffered or something like that.
Oh dear.
I'm just speculating because it looked really janky.
Back to that play at hand. They end up winning in a big way. You know, 3 kills on the board now. It's a significant gold lead here for them.
Yeah.
And you know, you could see
aiming here. They need to just sacrifice Milio and get out, because him coming into the back line when Cuz and Andal are there to peel for him, like, best case scenario, you kill Bull, but you're still going to be in a really rough situation. So like, aiming can't play fucking flanking Lucian into a CC heavy front line like that.
But he just wasn't able to do it, so they just were not able to get into position to properly fight. And Andal, he is just not hesitating today. He is
3 types of Lucian: Western Lucian, Eastern Lucian, and aiming Lucian.
The center lane, he is ready to be a big front line in this game and a great engager.
Very interested to see how this one's going to unfold. It is about 800 gold, the lead from Kwangdong Freaks.
Andal's doing it, guys. Bomby Cinder, plated steel caps into Frozen Heart. And then they will never kill him. Ever, ever, ever.
They have Talia for all of her team fight control. And this could be an opportunity. D+, I think, are probably going to need to start putting their foot on the gas. Start this one off as Andal's going to miss one here. Bulldog's the target, though, as Showmaker gets the flash out of him and immediately gets out of there. Kwangdong Freaks now realizing the most important.
That was almost a janky hook too.
As Lucid does end up going.
What? Lucid, my friend.
Yeah, but then he gets dove on, makes his way.
Oh my God, the big knockup from Dudu. Uh-oh, here's the resets. Reset City. Reset City. Oh God.
Demolishing them.
And D+ are in big trouble now. I mean, this is a turret.
What was Lucid doing, man? What is he doing? What is he doing, Lucid? You've been so good. Why are you like this? My guy, what is the plan here? Are you going to kick Bull this direction? Dude, you pop out right next to a fucking Nautilus. He just autos you, and you get stunned by Viego. Press the attack on him, just vaporized. Really good reaction by Kwangdong, but super puzzling. That's a giant case of Lee syndrome right there.
Freaks are demolishing them.
And D+ are in big trouble now. I mean, this is a turret going down in mid. With all those Void Grubs, they can just demolish it so quickly here.
I mean, they've got they've got 6 stacks of the Void Grubs too, so.
Like I said, it's great at skirmishing. It's got a Viego in it, an Aatrox, and they did this without Talia. This is no mid laner. Yeah, D+, they were missing.
D+ just running it down, honestly. They're just taking turns running it down. Dom said he failed some skill cancel.
That's looking for resets, and I mean that hook almost lands on Lucid. By the way, Ondil is a Viego that's looking for resets.
I mean, I'm not sure what skill he's trying to cancel there, because he knows he has vision of the Nautilus. The ward W fail. Oh yeah. All right, so he places the ward down so he could actually W back over, but there's still no point to doing this, guys. Like, what he wants to do is use Q2 and then, like, sweep back over to using the W. But, like, there's no point to doing this. Like, let's be very clear. This is still dumb to do. So he wants to just like whoop, but you can't do that.
And then look at this. Lucid has to get out of here, and then Dudu goes in. You have the Dawning Shadows, and then it's just a reset.
There's literally no point to doing that. Like, what's the best case scenario here? Like, Bull.
Every time they try to kill him, they have to get through the rest.
You know, Bull had already used Flash, so you're not going to draw a Flash out of the Senna.
A Viego that's looking for resets, and I mean that hook almost lands on Lucid. By the way, Andil is.
You're not going to draw a Flash out of the Senna. The Nautilus doesn't care, so he's not going to react to this.
Crazy. And then look
so I don't know what he thought was going to happen.
You have the Dawning Shadows, and then it's just a reset fest here for Cuz. He's just going to ult his way forward. Dudu continues to chase with the Qs, and you make one mistake against Quantum Freaks' comp, and it is just so incredibly punishing.
Yeah, and Andal being able to knock everyone up.
So maybe I'm missing something, guys, but I don't see the upside to doing that. You didn't like draw out a summoner spell. There's no real ult you would get out there. Maybe like not ult. It was not ult. Not ult was up, but like best case scenario, you get not ult, but you might actually just drag not ult back in your into your team at that point in time, right? Because it's targeted, and then Dudu like engages on you. So I don't know, guys. Who knows?
He's just going to ult his way forward. Dudu continues to chase with the Qs, and you make one mistake against Quantum Freaks' comp, and it is just so incredibly punishing.
Yeah, and Andal being able to knock everyone up. Dawning Shadow then lay it all the way across to get that double value. D+, I mean, I mentioned that they had to put that.
I agree with you guys that he was trying to cancel Q2 with W hop, but why? I don't know why.
Yeah, and you know, mistakes like that happen. It's fine. But you know, you still need to try and explain what happened to your insurer, and that one's difficult.
And I think that, you know, going back to the conversation we had in draft about whether it was going to be Lucian or whether it was going to be Aphelios, right now they wish it was Aphelios, you know? Right now they're like, ooh, aiming 0-2 in this game. He's low range against this composition. He doesn't have sticking power when the fight actually breaks out, when the engages happen. He can't just, you know, kite back and do massive amounts of damage. He's just going to get burst down so quickly. There's no red-white guns for this Lucian. He is just not going to be able to make the same impact. And Showmaker, of course, 2 items now. He's the only one that has a pretty significant lead. He himself can't get it done alone in these fights that D+ aren't starting off on their footing. They're not in control of any of these objectives. I mean, now Herald goes over. They just have the whole rift. I mean, the Senna is walking up to Inner.
Yeah, and now Showmaker is looking for Bull. He mimics over, and Bull's taking a lot of damage. He will get snared. Dawning Shadow comes in. Lucid trying to get the fight happening onto Andil here as Showmaker finishes the job. There's the kick for the mini stun for Bull. He mimics over.
Yeah, this is way too much forward pressure.
I mean, the Senna is walking
especially because like this is silly. Especially, you know, Bull is a rookie, but you're looking at a highly mobile composition when you don't have Flash. And you know, you've got Bulldog and Cuz up here trying to take the turret, and you want to find an opportunity to use Rift Herald. So this actually just depressures the entire map. They use Herald up on top side, but it causes Cuz to have to come down here and try and salvage the situation.
And that is going to get them out of there. Teleport from King in to try and protect.
You can't get max value out of Herald now.
And that's,
may not get another charge.
That's why Senna doesn't walk up to Inner. But yeah, he was trying. Charge will go through, so still a big win here on the top side for Quantum Freaks, but bit of an overextension, let's say there. They are unable to get the Inner turret. They put it down very low with all those Void Grubs and Mites.
Yep.
And now Drake is spawning here. Senna just respawned herself, and contesting this is not going to be easier for Quantum Freaks. They still plan to try. Is D+ going to reset?
Yeah, D+ in the area. Control Ward does go into the pit. And Showmaker finds Bulldog. The chains are going to land, and those rocks do absolutely nothing. Over the wall he goes.
And the pick potential of this composition. Credit to Lucid and Showmaker. They're working together well in order to try and salvage this game.
Trying to come over there if D+ were going to commit to the Dragon. They were just kind of waiting to see what D+ would do, and then D+, they don't wait. And that's the difference in shot calling here between these two teams in mid and late games, is D+ a lot more decisive, and they just collapse on him and kill him. Will cost them this Inner turret in mid. Finally goes down.
Still working 100% for Quantum Freaks. And I think even if some things have potentially gone wrong macro-wise, They have still got so many of these objectives. This is going to be the first one for D+. And Cuz looks for the steal, doesn't manage to get it. Fire kick is decent to try and push away this Viego. They're able to keep them at arm's length. Nicely played there from Kellen on the disengage.
Still a pretty healthy lead for Kwangdong.
Stolen that objective.
I mean, it's doomed. It's like basically over.
So doomed. It still feels fairly doomed at the moment, but at least D+, we're able to get that kill there. Bottom side, Showmaker has 2 kills to his name now. You know,
I mean, I think this is salvageable because you can kind of get incremental advantages by punishing bad positioning, and Kwangdong has actually not had the greatest positioning, right? They haven't been putting pressure down properly. Like, the play that needed to happen was they had to get Herald down top first, get this turret, and start pressuring up here, because right now there's a timing window where there's not a lot of threat. Like, this turret is dead. This turret's dead. The Herald's going down. It's very low to begin with. So you can give that up, and they actually find a way to trade effectively for it, right? Because remember, they have 3 people on the bot side of the map also pushing. So this is why you have to be very careful as a team at the professional level, how you're syncing minion waves and how you're applying pressure. Because good players will find those openings.
I was going to say, you know, maybe he thought they had some idea of where D+ were, but they really didn't. So, and we got to see it from the vision talk there as well.
Some positional errors.
Yeah.
By Bull and Bulldog.
Even opted to shove Kellen away, and Kellen really didn't mind about that. No. So not able to keep himself alive. Cuz taking a fair bit of damage as well from aiming, who does finally have a few items completed. Bloodsong as well as the Storm Razor Rapid Fire Cannon. So no Ghost Blades cheekily in that back pocket this time around.
Thankfully.
Yes, indeed.
Not a big fan.
As D+ is still 4,000 gold behind. This is still Kwangdong's game to lose.
And they have so much range now with the Senna starting to stack up. You know, you could see Bull could just kind of walk forward here with relative impunity while he has a, you know, tank real actual Nautilus beside him. It's not just support Nautilus, you know. I mean, Andil actually could take a beating, so he could just kind of walk forward and continue to push this mid wave and then clear out vision, start to take control of the top side of the map here. And I mean, they have taken out so many turrets. It's 4 turrets to 1, and that's a major part of this gold lead. It's not just the, you know, double the kill score they have at the moment, but a lot of this has just been constant push around the map, getting every single objective, except that one dragon.
Yeah, Cuz really been popping off this game.
Which was nearly stolen, mind you.
Yeah. And this is where the big test comes in for Kwangdong Freaks, because their early games have been. I think we saw that when Bull was all the way shoved up to that inner turret. Looked a little bit.
Duda1125. Thank you for the additional tier 1 gift subs, 5 of them. Thank you very much. It's very generous.
Has been on the back foot for the last 12 months.
Have I been watching any of the T1 Challenger games? No, I don't care. I don't care about tier 2, guys. This is bangers only. We are curating Global League of Legends.
This map and making sure that D+ cannot actually approach these objectives.
That is antithetical to our goals.
That is the important thing, because that gives you all of that map control, and they can't let D+ find these picks to try and get themselves back into it. But now they're going to look for it. Showmaker comes on over, zaps Andil.
I think
not too much more.
The Nautilus and the Senna are so good into this AD LeBlanc when the team just can't control the map, because she doesn't have agency, right? I mean,
Cuz looks for the stun, and Lucid really wants to secure this red.
Yeah, Red is going for a walk.
It is.
The Red was like, don't leave me the combo. I'm a D+ Red buff. Don't let them take me.
Not anymore. Now,
Stand though.
Really was.
I guess we're just going to play for Mountain Soul. Kwangdong just opting to going slowly here. They don't really have the fastest bear intake, so I guess it's pretty respectable.
To layer those autos on top of somebody like Bulldog, right? Or even Cuz if you found him, and then you run into the Nautilus problem. There's so many different ways to follow up on that engage, so it's really scary for Showmaker to actually.
What constitutes the banger if they're on this stream? Unless I specifically say it does not count as a banger, which I do from time to time. I reserve the right.
He just is playing into a comp that's so oppressive when you don't have map control too. LeBlanc's ability to actually flank goes down massively.
Yeah.
It's a really tough game to play out from here on for D+.
Certainly is, especially when it's a 2-0-2 due to Aatrox with full lethality. You can't really just...
So we're just kind of looking at the most important matches, right? And some garbage for the Raccoons occasionally. Some garbage for the Raccoons, but mostly we're paying attention to the matches that actually matter.
Very careful D+ award here. Not going to take any damage at all by the looks of things. And Bull has his opportunity. Blood Song, Ghostblade.
Dragon is up. I mean, D+ just aren't even anywhere near it because they just don't have any ability to close that gap towards the objective. I mean, you could push Dudu out of the top lane a little bit there, but he doesn't really mind.
Reckless going to be a K-pop star after his support experiment. Well, he is kind of on a journey of becoming reverse Michael Jackson right now, so maybe he does need to become a pop star.
Andil and Bull potentially out of position as all good flash from Bull avoids.
And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean.
And Andil looking to try and turn it. Depth charge comes in. Lucid's the target here as he has to get himself out of there. Nice redemption from Kellen to keep them healthy, but the rest of Quandong Freaks are still coming. Weaver's Law comes in and Showmaker presses W. That is going to counter it. Kingen nowhere in sight, not even using the teleport and to try and get back there. And I feel like what's on D+'s mind is we'll give the Drake to try and get control of the Baron area and find some global gold because they have just been starved.
I mean, if they get Baron, they get the gold from the Baron itself and then a ton of turret money that they have to cash in on, right? They sell it mid and top outers here. They could pick off, and that's a lot of gold they will pick up if they can get that objective. Easier said than done.
Yeah, well, there's the culling. It's going to connect onto Showmaker, who gets himself out of there. Snared up by Bull as Cuz looks for a cheeky cube and not going to find it.
This is just a great draft, Atlas. You know,
it's working, man.
I looked at it and I was like, you know, I want to say I favor this draft, but I just think D+ is the better team. That's why I said, you know, I'll look at these two drafts and I think, okay, D+ is the better team. Tough to play, but they'll get it done. But when you watch it in actual reality...
Yeah, they've only gotten a couple of picks, and now that Bull just has everybody surrounding him 24/7, the difficulty to engage is, like, Talia's so good here. Because it really does limit like your ability to engage with champions like Lee Sin and LeBlanc, right? Limits your mobility so much with her E. You also have targeted CC with the Nautilus.
Have been going so well that D+ just can't do anything. It's
very, very hard to get some of the poke damage down now.
Busted, and it's just a Talia Senna Nautilus comp with a lethality Aatrox. And Cuz playing Viego, and that doesn't sound like something we've seen before that's super oppressive, but when you see it play out like this with Andil just being super confident.
Yeah, Kingan's just been entirely useless this game. He's now down in 50 CS.
And if he hits those, which he mostly is,
Tristan is better. Well, Tristana was banned, so.
There is no turnaround and fight out of this comp.
And Andil has also just been really intelligently using his ultimate to start things as well. Maybe not finding it on that last fight as Quandong Freaks gonna start off this Baron. They've got so much vision in this area. They can fish for it if they would like to. Kingen going back, looking to try and get himself in amongst it. Can teleport at a moment's notice as Showmaker is getting that poke down, but this is going down lower and lower. I don't think they're going to commit.
Yeah, it's so slow.
Bring D+ over.
So slow. You play for Soul in 2.5 minutes. There's no point in throwing the game right now.
They do have Leandries on this Talia, so there's, you know, a speed at which they could take this Baron if D+ don't respond, but they do respond. Not worth the 50.
Wait, has Reckless played for T1 already? Yes, he has, and I'll do you one better. He's lost every match. They've lost. T1 Challengers has lost every match with Reckless.
No reason to flip this game on a Baron we don't need. Just using it for, as you said, added pressure. And really, they're just fighting the clock right now.
They are bottom of LCK Challenger. Oh, they won one? Oh, when did they won this week? Oh, man. All right, I'm wrong.
This is very doomed. Even if the game is stalled out somehow.
They're still bottom of the league, right?
I feel like center is just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger.
Why did Udyr build Koenig? Rookern? So LeBlanc still does do some AP damage, but I agree that it's not great. And, like, are we really concerned about tank Udyr's AP damage? No.
Oh, the savior of D+ is Brambleback. You love to see it. Back on the right side.
Heavens.
Oh, man, it would have been an absolute tragedy. But now at least, you know, I mean, it's still looking, if you are on the D+ side of things, still looking a little tragic. But not for that Brambleback.
No, not for that Brambleback, because he's still a believer.
Yep.
He thinks D+ win this game easy. He's like, 80 LeBlanc scale, and I'm like,
We'll see how that goes. Bull is, you know, suffering at the hands of it for the minute.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see Cuz building MR. He's been so good this game. Why is he concerned about MR?
Now he's going MR.
Yeah, I think Kingen might need to build like a Leandri's or a Riftmaker or something so that they have a magic damage.
Well, that's bold of you.
It does seem very wacky in this particular game with the almost all AD composition to build Rookern.
Hook is going to connect onto the Udyr, who runs away and continues running. Dudu on the flank angle, though. His shield is going to be broken. Kingen still going to get hooked back. The ulti from Kellen trying to save him. No one's died really just yet as Showmaker.
Oh man, aiming stunned himself.
And now Lucid able to get himself out of there. The Culling doing so much work, and D+ just sort of out-sustaining in this fight. The Chain's not going to be able to find their mark. Kwangdong Freaks, I mean, Lucid going to be broken.
Fourth at this point in the game. I don't know.
It's a good flank from Aatrox. So they get the hook to start this fight. LeBlanc tries to poke the back line. Dudu is here, coming over the wall, already ulted. Cuz is here. Gets a stun onto... aiming doesn't really do anything in this fight. Kick back. Senna ult over everything. Now Bulldog cuts him off a little bit. Puts the E down onto aiming and Lucid, so they can't dash. Aiming dashes over, stuns himself, hurts himself. Cuz almost actually gets out of that. So D+ actually kites that out pretty effectively, and Cuz is the one who ends up dying.
I mean, they just take so much damage because, unfortunately,
Lucid had a very good kick onto Viego. And honestly, Kwangdong needs Viego alive, and this is smart of them to back off because they are so based around Viego resets. They did not have to take that fight, by the way. They could have just pushed up mid lane and then chunked out. Because, like, what happens here, right? Let's talk about this. So they get the hook, deal some chunk damage. Bulldog gets chunked a little bit. And at this point in time, you can actually, you don't have to come in and fully commit to this fight. You can try and come in and just chunk them out. Because honestly, right here, this is when you can just back off to Drake, right? And take vision control of Drake. You don't have to actually commit fully to this play. You've chunked King into half, and yeah, he's Udyr. He'll get his HP back. But Cuz also is playing too aggressively because he needs to stay alive for the resets, and he needs to coordinate who the target is so that can happen.
Just sort of out-sustaining in this fight. The Chain's not going to be able to find their mark.
A little bit of a forced fight here for Kwangdong Freaks, I think, in a big way. They trip over their shoelaces a little bit here because look at Kingen's positioning as he comes around. Excuse me, Dudu's positioning as he comes around here. It's Kingen's skin, so that throws me off.
It's confusing.
They're really hard forcing this, and then Andal is also just constantly going forward here. And look at this kick from Lucid.
Lucid saves this fight 100%. Lucid has been so good at team fighting, guys. Like, he is so good at reading the play and peeling and making the correct target selection. It's been really amazing to watch a rookie as good as this in these team fights.
Well, Cuz is looking to try and kill Kingen, who is, I think, dead, guys. Yep, not going to go anywhere at all. Does have a big old shield. It's going to take some time, but he is still dead. Dudu collects it. And now D+, thinking about heading towards Baron, but I don't think they'll be able to do it in time. Kingen with teleport up in 50 seconds. Shouldn't change too much, but speaking of not changing, that gold lead not going anywhere here for Kwangdong Freaks despite losing that Drake. Oh, there's a flash kick onto Bulldog. Seismic shove going to move him a little bit, but otherwise not too much. Somehow it's Emilio that gets the kill. Gonna have to get detectives onto that one. I'm not entirely sure how that happened. Was he redemption? I think he was redemption.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened. It looks like it with the cooldown there. I think that might actually be what secured the kill there.
Sometimes you just redeem yourself a kill.
Yeah, well, I mean, Lucid, his MO this game has been, uh-oh, it's a bad situation. Well, let's find Bulldog and kill him.
Oh, no!
I mean, like, literally since his first gank, that is all that MO this game
That's true.
Him a little bit, but otherwise not too much. Somehow it's Emilio that gets the kill. Going anywhere here for Kwangdong Freaks despite losing that Drake. Oh, there!
What is Bulldog doing, dude? They have no vision. Again, credit to Showmaker and Lucid. They actually have made this game much more competitive than it has any right being.
Gonna have to get detectives onto that one. I'm not entirely sure how that happened. Was he Redemption? I think he was Redemption.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened. It looks like it with the cooldown there. I think that might actually be what secured the kill there.
Sometimes you just redeem yourself a kill.
Yeah, well, I mean, Lucid, his MO this game has been able to do is like, oh man, this comp is oppressive. We can't 5v5 them. Where's Bulldog? Let's kill him.
Yeah.
KDF with the ADC looks really strong. I mean, they should have won this game already. You know, they've been trying to fumble the W. They've been trying to fumble the W, guys. They've been trying really hard.
The rest of his team is trying to group for Baron, so not going to happen. And then subsequently, of course, we'll probably get a replay of the said kill onto Bulldog as he just walks on a ward. Hit Talia.
And redeem.
Yep, Redemption steals it. And he's just continuing to call out calls moving around the map. Not upset that his kill was stolen, not at all.
Nope. Play slow, play slow. And that is what they're going to have to focus on. I think that you've seen the D+ sort of focus up mentality over the last 10 minutes or so. And we'll see whether that's going to continue. That last team fight, yeah, it was sort of an overextension from Kwangdong Freaks, but I also think that D+ were required to play extraordinarily well to get themselves out of that situation. As Kingen playing in that front line, Dudu looking for that angle.
He has GA. I mean, he's ready to hard force again. Let's see if they can do it cleaner this time.
Lucid in a decent position as Aiming's gonna have to get over that wall. And Kingen is not the engaged target.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we caught an Udyr.
Yeah.
It's like when you fish up a bucket in a JRPG, you're like, oh.
They're just fishing right now because you can use Talia Wall to try and get a pick because you're gonna have it back up by the time the soul spawns.
Yeah. So Kingen,
And you can see how hard it is for D+ to actually win on these pushes as long as Kwangdong is together and staying behind their front line and watching their flanks.
Might want to look for an engage, but the targets are not good, so he just needs to leave to avoid that hook, luckily. And unfortunately, the stand is going over again.
Kidnapped one more time. Sorry, Brambleback.
114 souls on Senna.
Time window here, I feel, for Kwangdong Freaks to have just kited back and taken Baron here and look to control this choke point. They're back.
Nah. Again, you play for soul. Like, don't fuck it up for a third time, Kwangdong.
Opportunity missed. That would have guaranteed the Mountain Soul as well. Minute and 30 until that spawns, and I think they absolutely could have taken the fight. But I think there's a return to a little bit of Timon this year.
Is Kwangdong still associated with Africa? Yes. Yeah, they're still owned by Africa. Kwangdong is a Korean pharmaceutical company.
And this is Kwangdong to a T in a nutshell, basically. Massive leads in the mid game. We get to late game, everything slows down. They lose a lot of control. They were able to eventually beat Nongshim, as we all know. But I don't know if that is going to hold true here against D+. Now, they still have all the advantages. They still have all the leads. They don't have the same level of map control they had a few minutes ago. And some of these, big fights that are coming up here could be game deciding now. You know, you could have taken a small win, but now it's coming down to one big 5v5 fight.
Ball positioning has been so incredibly good. I mean, in some of the team fights, he's been out of position on the map.
And Aiming has like 6 items, and 5 items and some brown bags that he got for free.
Which is why he died.
This Lucian
Which was actually a pretty big problem.
The Lord Dominic's the most important part of the build, considering the immense amount of armor that has been stacked up by Kwangdong Freaks. And if he hits Andil, he takes no damage. If Showmaker hits Andil, he takes no damage.
Yeah. They're trying to break the Rookern.
Yeah.
They're trying to break it.
They're still looking for a little bit more here, though, as Depth Charge does come in. Aiming is there.
Oh, my God. Aiming just gangbanged. Oh, my God. They hit him with everything. They hit him with everything.
So good from Kellen. He's used
Kellen absolutely saving this fight, by the way.
They're trying to break the Rookern.
Yeah.
Because, like, they do an excellent job. Aiming steps up, gets Nautilus ulted. Cuz comes in from the flank. Chain CC, Senna ult, gets stunned, gets hit by Dudu on the side. Kellen uses ult. Aiming flashes out, hook in. Hook in, and then Kellen knocks him out. That was Lee Sin kick, actually. That was Lucid, man. Lucid, so good. Lee Sin kicks him out, and then CC's Dudu at the same time. Because I think if Nautilus lands the auto there, then finally aiming is dead. Right?
More here though, as depth charge does come in. Aiming is their target. The redemption, everything thrown.
Because he doesn't have time to actually get the auto route down. Because I think aiming dies if he does.
He's used every button.
That was super good peel from D+.
They got a lot of cooldowns, and Quandong Freaks are looking for that soul.
Yeah, they want to get this soul. They push D+ away. Aiming somehow survives miraculously, but he doesn't have flash now. So watch Andil. He is constantly fishing. He is always looking here. And now they're going to just cut him out.
Yeah, Weaver's Wall coming on in here. Seismic Shove throws King in over. He is tanking for a really long time. And in fact, he's able to walk it off. Sometimes you just walk it off. I don't know. Kellen, not.
I mean, Kellen doesn't have anything to. They don't have any survivability left, unfortunately. They used it all to, like, just not die during that team fight.
And Andil is just never going to take damage as Kingen wants to find his way out here with Lucid. It's a two-man job to try to escape to. It's like,
It's free Baron. Yeah, I think the draft, you know, looking at how this is played out, draft is a pretty big problem this game for D+. And, you know, especially that dragon fight that aiming kind of ran it down in gave Kwangdong such a huge lead. And the scaling is just out of control. And, you know, once Kwangdong is grouped, it's very, very hard for D+ to actually kill anyone. Showmaker would be better off going full AP, probably. But I don't even think that's enough, guys. I don't think that's enough. Like, remember, Cuz is actually built weird. The world's slowest Baron here.
It's a beautiful Baron play as well, and yeah, you might sacrifice a GA, but maybe they could still win the team fight. It's Kingen in that front line trying to tank it up, but the Melio once again explodes.
There's so much protection for this Senna, and she's just huge in the back line now. And here we go, Viega resets.
But the resets are going to come through. Cuz able to get himself over towards the Dawning Shadow as the double kill comes forward, and Showmaker, he's not going to be able to do anything. Cuz and him swap positions.
Nicely played by Cuz. Oh!
Manages to get it.
Oh!
The ace comes down, and Kwandong Freaks will take game one.
Bulldog coming off the Talia wall. That was fun.
He's the one to get the final blow there. Kwandong Freaks with a massive win here. Great Baron take. Andil.
Have I heard of Leandri's into tank Talia build? I have not. I have not heard of that build.
Win the subsequent play and take out the Nexus. What a win. One of the cleaner games we've seen from Kwangdong. Sure, there were some hesitations in the mid to late game, but a great draft. Execution was crisp. Andil, this guy is rapidly rising.
Yeah, Andil looks a lot better. Taeyun was really the problem, guys.
I feel like this is
Taeyun was really the problem.
You know what I mean? Where we're looking at this player and saying, okay, we weren't so high on him before, but he's suddenly really improved, and maybe some top teams will have their eye on him, or maybe Kwangdong will become a top team.
What I wrote down.
All right, guys, before we get in this one, I'm going to go take a quick bathroom break. Be back. Sorry about that, guys. You'd think you have a nicer chair. I do have a nicer chair. In America, in Korea, I'm using an old chair. That was like my wife's old chair that was left at her like parents' apartment, okay? I was going to go buy a nice chair when I'm not going to be here for very long. What have I got in the state? A Herman Miller Aeron. I'm eating hwaedobap. It is a like Korean poke bowl that I made for myself for lunch. It's fucking delicious.
Or something like that, but I don't think that would be a thing.
I hope it's not, because I hope the center pivot was definitely there as Rumble and Senna, and then we get to see what Kwangdong Freaks want to first pick. Could be K'Sante, but I'm hoping that it's Kalista personally. I think that Bull is so much better on that champion than many others. The Lucian is going to be the priority.
You're looking to hwaedobap? Yeah, it's good. It's good. Very healthy. Fish, a little bit of like multi-grain rice, tomatoes, cucumbers, onions, avocado, lettuce. Why am I in Korea? Because I want to be in Korea. Because I don't have to be anywhere in particular to do what I'm doing. And I thought my wife and I thought it'd be nice to go back to Korea for a bit before we moved to Denver. So we were like, oh, we're going to leave LA, but why do we have to go straight to Colorado? Why don't we just take a year and go back to Korea? I'll be there till probably November of this year, at least. Have our kid go to Korean school, learn Korean. You know, it's just a good time. Good time to do this stuff. All right, so Rel banned again, the Lucid special, not something that Cuz has really been working on. Vi and Rumble and Corky, and now the Senna ban coming through. So
therefore, D+,
Bull gonna pick the Lucian. Interesting to see the Lucian priority over Kalista. Like, Bull has actually shown quite a bit of proficiency on various different AD carries. Thanks for streaming. Thanks for watching, Mick05. Did I ask Caster Jin about my grill after Worlds? I haven't seen him yet. I will, though.
Can't really mess it up. It wasn't Perfect's fault that one time. He just
oh, so you can make it with minced meat as well? Well, that would be called bibimbap, my guy. That's called bibimbap. You can make it with like ground pork or beef, called bibimbap.
To go that route and just have a very explosive team fighting mid game. We have a lot of follow up.
You plan to continue doing these VOD reviews? Yes, I've been doing them 6 days a week, man. Been doing them 6 days a week.
Yep, that's where I think they'll probably
where have you been? It's a real question. Thank you, Zero's agent. Thank you for the tier 1 subscription.
I feel like the Pigeon Emperor is lurking. He's lurking just around the corner. Although considering what he positions, this will be most.
Kingen has been playing a lot of Aatrox recently, but they just really want this Aatrox. I mean, Dudu did well into this matchup in the last game. Okay, affiliate. Nope, Tristana. Tristana was banned in second rotation last time.
Big pivot away from what this draft could do. Now, perhaps they were afraid that it was going to be just a.
So, what are we going for? AP jungler here? Are we going to ban Maokai?
Will require a ban, most likely.
Ban Maokai.
Well, I don't think you need to ban Talia in this particular scenario. Game went. I do not dislike it at all because.
Ban Maokai.
Especially when you can't.
Sejuani picked here. I think they knew that this was going to be a Sejuani pick. If they didn't take it away.
Champion, I think, to play with a team like this, but Cuz's performance is very strong.
All right. Poppy
all the best jungle players are
prevents Sejuani. Q engage helps against the Tristana.
You know, hasn't been able to live up necessarily to his all-pro, similarly to what we had last.
And back to Talia.
Doesn't have as much staying power. It's not as sticky.
Okay, that's a Kog'Maw.
Kog'Maw.
Man, that is so. He has now become. His ultimate aim. He's actually living on.
So we haven't seen Kog'Maw Milio, but in theory, Kog'Maw W range is actually crazy, right? With Milio, And the question too is like, Malignance should work with Kog'Maw R. Matty Man, I gifted a tier 1 sub to Riot Games. Wow. Riot Games. Thanks. I hope you enjoy the sub, Riot Games. So I'm wondering now, we haven't seen this, but if we look at this composition, it does make me wonder if this is like a Malignance Cog build. Because it should proc with R, right? And you're going to want some additional AP damage.
You put the campfire down, and then Kog'Maw shoots you from off the screen.
It's a much in the LCK, but was played in other regions quite a bit.
It's going to be dangerous, though, because the Lucian Nami Poppy dives could be absolutely brutal. Depends on if Udyr is Phoenix. Udyr is always Phoenix. Spoiler. Top Udyr is always R-Max.
Tidal wave you have to deal with, steadfast presence you have to deal with, that flanking Aatrox is going to come through with the lethality, the Talia flip. You have to be so careful on this Kog'Maw, but if the engage is used and Kog'Maw's at full health and Showmaker's at full health on that Trist, it's an easy team fight for D+.
Should certainly be. Let's see whether D+ can get back on the horse and bring us to those 3 games. Jump over the rift here for game number 2. Right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the rift for what could be the last game of the season.
Bwipo plays Tiger. Oh, look, guys, Bwipo's an abnormal top laner. You know that.
The entirety of Summoner's Rift just explodes. Not likely to be the case.
Played AP Cog today. It's disgusting. Yeah, this has been something we've been talking about on this stream about whether AP Cog, with Malignance would be viable. This is Hail of Blades Cog, I think, just for some additional trading power in the early game. I'm very curious how this plays out, though.
The conspiracy theorist
guy. I don't know.
He's extraordinarily famous, and he's in loads of things, and I, for some reason, can't remember his name right now, and it's really bothering me.
Terrible actor names.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. Bull, going to be able to get some additional money here as they do manage to take down the ward.
It is the worst feeling ever when you drop a ward and it gets burst.
Yeah, it's Woody Harrelson, by the way.
Woody Harrelson, yes.
Yeah, he was the tinfoil hat guy. Anyway, continue.
This is the worst feeling ever. That was the end of it.
All right, cool. Ardent Blaze going to be used, and aiming press W, and does hitting onto the Lucian. Relatively low range.
Yeah, Lucian doesn't shoot very far. Kog'Maw will, and that's kind of the thought process here, especially when he has a campfire on him. Going to be very annoying to deal with here, but
yeah, you have to play around W cooldown.
Yeah, nicely done.
And he's first striking, which I do like to see on Lucian at the draft like this. Just trying to farm it up as quickly as possible. We'll see double support in a moment when he is able to get that gold, but started the longsword. Very common stuff here. We'll see if aiming also...
Kog'Maw has the best skins, man.
I don't think you necessarily have to with Kog'Maw, especially because it's going to hurt your scaling later on if you can't perfectly utilize the mechanic where you don't actually go over on gold and then get penalized.
Yep, as Kellen actually going to heal. Get himself out of this one. Endel is using his aggressively and aiming, had already used his barrier earlier on. So getting feisty here towards his bottom side. So far, Quantum Freaks looking pretty good as they're jockeying for position. Kog'Maw not necessarily known for his early game prowess, but Melio can certainly help you mitigate some of those issues.
Yeah, definitely. And once you get...
Yeah, fascinating. I like D+'s experimentation. They've been one of the more interesting teams in terms of team comps in the league.
Constantly just empowering him. It gets a lot easier. As you can see, Bull already pretty low on mana, so won't be able to continually trade like he was, just kind of dashing forward, proccing his passive, looking for a Q, stuff like that, and burning that first strike gold out as quickly as possible too. Not going to happen.
I wonder if they're still going to go double support item here on first back.
Arguably.
Yeah. Bull going aggressive onto Kellen here, taking a lot of damage. Ebb and flow value there as well from Andil. Love to see the 3-hit. That's how you tell whether they're a Nami player or not, you know?
That's the best feeling ever. Proc all those Lucian passives, get that damage done. Kellen will heal through a lot of this, so not going to feel too unhappy. Not going to look for a play with Lucid.
Yeah, Kuz actually walking over a ward here, so Lucid with the information. And Kuz now going to know that the Sejuani was in the area. Was Poppy working very well into the Sejuani?
No, I haven't checked out Smolder yet. I gotta do that.
Right there. So Cuz just patrolling the area, but will head back into his jungle. Taking a bit of damage here, as Aiming knows that Cuz is coming on over.
I appreciate the observers are giving us a lot of looks at this lane, because this is obviously very interesting.
Nice to watch. Just abusing it
And
there.
as we thought, focus on bot lane early.
And we're not
Attempt
gonna
at
see
creating
any
pressure.
fighting here as Cuz is gonna make
Lucid
his way through mid
shadowing.
to get that top scuttle.
Yeah, seeing where the Showmaker wants to head over. It catches him out of the air. Not
Oh,
able
wow,
to
he
get
almost got the
though,
stun.
and does
Force
get the
flash,
Great
thanks to
seismic
W.
shot.
Wow, Bulldog just had enough mana for that.
Top scuttle.
Yeah, seeing where the Showmaker wants to head over. It catches him out of the air. Not able to quite get the stun though, and does get the flash. Great seismic shove placement there from Bulldog, using the very last of his mana in order to get it. Cuz comes on over. That was really nice.
That was like catching a fly with chopsticks. Okay. That was insane. That was really well played there by Cuz. And if Bulldog, if he doesn't flash Bulldog shove, then he very likely dies. And that was a really sick play. And, you know, he's able to grab top scuttle as well. Feeling great about this exchange. So Cuz, man, he's awake right
How did KT
now.
lose this guy?
He is feeling himself. And that is great news here for Bulldog.
Well, it's because Deft wanted to get the band back together. You know, the DRX band. So I'm not sure KT had much of a choice.
You know, watching the bottom lane for almost the entirety of this game thus far, but it is going to be the most important aspect, right? Can this Kog'Maw get to the point where he can just stand and shoot with the help of Melio and really push them away? Because you can build as many tanks as you want. You can claim that this is an AD composition, but BioArcane
Pyosik is playing just as good.
means you can't really
No.
build stuff in order to stop
No.
it from killing.
No.
You really just have to have a way to kill the Kog'Maw.
No.
So if Aiming can stay
Go watch
safe,
the last 2 games of the Telecom War and tell me Pyosik is good.
Tristan has no
Go,
slouch as
do it.
well.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Do it.
the
Just because he's had some good games and Pyosik has had some good games doesn't mean that the Pyosik fucking roller coaster doesn't exist.
Yep. Lucid's going to be able to take one of them. Seismic Shove, not going to really find the mark there. Showmaker moving on in. I don't know whether
Cuz can't get close enough. He doesn't have smite.
Gets Lucid in there. Cuz going to eat some honey fruit, not really taking too much damage, and they're not going to give this one away. Showmaker just throwing up the dumb one 2020.
Honey fruit coming in here as well. It's just so hard to actually stop the grub take when an Udyr has top lane prio, as you can see here, even with Bulldog coming over. Still early days, all he's got is cooldown boots here, so not going to be doing any big damage, even if he hit a shove. Just hard to get in position to even do so with Lucid there. Flash up and available, it's just so risky.
Yeah, and another thing that we do need to talk about when it comes to the Kog'Maw, you can see he is heading towards the Blood Song. Very high value for a Kog'Maw in general. Because, you know, Kog'Maw's used to build Trinity Force, you know, back in the day. His kit hasn't really changed, guys.
No.
And does also quite like...
It makes sense to, I think, have the Blood Song here, because you can just press W and press the attack, right? With the extended range from Melio.
Quite good Blood Song on the Kog'Maw.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be good.
Potentially cost him some late game gold generation, depending on how he plays it out. It's really been Deft who's been the best at juggling that.
Yeah, him and Barrel really do sort of work together well.
Yeah. We'll see how this one pans out, of course, but...
When was this game? Yesterday. Yesterday, my time.
Yeah, I'm not like...
It was like 18 hours ago.
About it because I know it's going away pretty soon, so... It's almost like if we had had
The law Pyosik clearly states that he's good, his team is not allowed to be, and his team is good, he has to suck. Yes, this is true. That was my law of Pyosik.
We saw it in Challenger a little bit. But, you know, that was a different story. This one...
He can only be good when his team is bad, and vice versa.
That one also was very game-breaking. This is just kind of weird, and it messes with the numbers, but it's whatever. He is going to come down here with the... Prio they actually gained there, and Showmaker's control mid while Bulldog is backing to just grab a dragon. So Showmaker put enough pressure on there. Bulldog backs. It doesn't have teleport. This is just a free dragon. So finally D+. I don't know what they said in the coaching booth there, but talking about controlling early objectives, they did not.
Over on YouTube, they considered making merch for Last Free Nation. Yes, we'll do it eventually.
And now the dragon. So big departure from what we saw last time around, and I think
is this streaming a recent thing? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And now I'm streaming on YouTube too. I'm everywhere. Everywhere in HD, not in 4K.
Looking to try and
Yet.
get better at killing Udyr. killing it is a difficult one, but if Dudu keeps landing these, and it could be a lot easier. Ghost at the ready, and you can see Cuz moving in, and I think mainly he is concerned about taking away the jungle.
Yeah, I don't think they can really make a play on the Kingen here. He's got Ghost available. And, you know, if Kingen makes a mistake or gets hit by a few more Dudu's Qs, then that's a different story, but it'll be tough to dive this. He's still
this matchup has been really good. I mean, D Plus has been first rotationing Udyr, and, like, Dudu has been, like, winning this matchup.
On the way past, and that will give,
you know, not succumbing to the pressure,
bottom side of the map, that's where you want
pushing very aggressively, getting tower dies off.
That's where the camps are available.
Yeah, instant danger.
What are the chances you ever see me cast again? Very low.
From the side of Guangdong Freaks, as soon as Cuz
That would be a massive waste of time. So, guys, the secret is casters don't even want to cast anymore. Being a caster is the worst.
You know, I think Bulldog's not going to get ulted over the wall here. No disaster angle, but Lucid taking away a significant amount of this jungle. Definitely feels like a trade up.
Yep. Keeps himself in vision as well as, oh, okay, Bulldog going to be able to deny the big raptor.
Clean.
Yep, certainly good news. Skellen's control ward getting some value here as Ando puts another ward on top of it. But Lucid.
Yeah, imagine casting when you can co-stream or live view or VOD review. Exactly. And imagine casting when you could own a podcast company that does 10 million podcast downloads a year.
As, by the way, Oblivion Orb Rush this time for King, and actually pretty sick into Aatrox.
Actually, just giga waste of time.
And Lucid coming on over, Bull playing aggressively, and now looking to try and get himself out.
All right, trying to disengage. Well played, actually. That was a really well played sequence.
And then on over.
Long there and burned away his health. As, by the way, Oblivion Orb Rush this time for King, and actually pretty sick into Aatrox. I like that.
Yeah. And Lucid coming on over, Bull.
They don't even know this is happening. I think they suspect it's happening. I think they suspect it's happening when the Kog'Maw starts to walk up this aggressively. Like, aiming telegraphs this. And, you know, Lucid's not actually waiting for his Q cooldown either. So he gets chunked out by the culling, can't continue to walk forward. They do a good job of splitting. Tidal wave. Flash. Lucid doesn't have Q because he just used it to come over the dragon wall.
Great crisis management.
They just get out of it.
Yeah, that was really great, decisive crisis management. Andal just says, I'm pressing R, you walk up.
Flowers seems like he wants to do it. Well, I mean, it's not about not liking the job, guys. The job is fun. It's about the fact that you are trapped in a really shitty situation with the job of casting. Like, I'm sure Flowers is a good caster. I'm sure he likes casting. Sure he loves casting. But you know what I'm sure he doesn't love? Not being able to negotiate his rate because Riot has a monopoly, and having built up a skill that is very difficult to transfer from game to game, and especially difficult in a market where other leagues are actively failing because of esports winter, and then being a background voice in a co-streamer stream that makes literally 20 times as much money he does. Literally 20 times. Okay. So, would you like that? No possible career development either. You're just a freelance slave to the game, and you can't control your own destiny. So it doesn't really matter if it's fun. You know, when you're in your 30s and 40s and thinking about your career and it being an absolute fucking dead end, it's pretty miserable. You have to be a company guy? No, you don't even get that because you're a freelancer. You don't get any job security. Because there's nowhere else for you to go. Because Riot owns the entire league ecosystem. So it's not about liking the job. It's about the fact that the job itself, if you are an adult trying to make a career, is absolute shit. What's the solution? There isn't a solution. The solution is the developers don't own the intellectual property rights to the esports league so you can have competition.
They go up here, take these grubs. Bulldog has
all right, so now they know that there are no ults in the bot side. So I'm going to bring Tristana down too.
Yeah, living artillery coming down here as Lucid now looking for Bull. They know the flash is available.
Nice bubble.
Comes down, though. Immediately the cleanse comes in, but
nice bubble from Andel.
Kill for this Kog'Maw also gets a plate on the way out. As Bulldog trying to do the same in the mid lane, but D+ a much better early game this time around as they go even on Grubs.
Yeah, unfortunate a little bit here for Showmaker that he is going to lose plates for this, but came down to guarantee the play there. Didn't actually get involved, didn't get any kills or assists, and man, Kwangdo Freaks just striking back though, you know, grabbing that mid plate, grabbing some of the jungle.
Casting is a good way to create a fan base you can leverage outside of casting.
So to speak.
That's true. You know, it's good for Kadril because Kadril can still do analysis, but it lacks the thrill, guys. Like, it's way less fun to sit in your room than to be in a stadium and, like, feel the energy and be the voice of the game. It's a lot less fun. I'm enjoying streaming and talking to you guys, but this is objectively less fun than being on an analyst desk at the Staples Center. It's objectively less fun. Okay? And here's the question. What is Captain Flowers going to do with his fan base? What he does is he has a successful personal stream. You know, he does stream. He gets thousands of viewers. But he casts, like, fan games. And, like, trading casting a World's Finals for casting some fucking gold NA games is really rough. Like, imagine just sitting there and that being your life. Like doing play-by-play casting for fan games on your own stream. Even if it probably, I'm going to guess, guys, it would probably be more profitable for him to do that. But that is miserable, man. That is miserable. And if you want to be a streamer, you kind of just, if you want to be purely a streamer, you kind of just have to know life it and stream for like 80 hours a week. You know, that's how Dom and Kadril and LS got to be super rich, but it's incredibly difficult. So it's really rough.
Teams.
You know, I've been streaming 6 days a week and it's hard. Because I also do other stuff, right? I do 6 podcasts and run a business and do consulting.
As they know that Tidal Wave is down, they know that Andil doesn't have flash from the last play. They double down on this, which is absolutely, I think, the correct call. Again, it comes at a small cost, but this is getting Kog'Maw further ahead, and that's the biggest problem that Kwangdo Freaks are going to have this game.
Dash
so
is the hardest case to see, streaming WoW to 20 people. Yeah, exactly, because his skill set doesn't translate to being an individual streamer, because his skill set is being very good at facilitating conversations and professionally presenting. That doesn't lend itself to solo streaming. And also, you know, people can love seeing you on a broadcast, but, you know, I'm just being straight up. What the things that people love about Dash are not going to make them tune into his personal stream. And that's just the unfortunate reality.
Was able to get back, does have himself some Berserker's Greaves, looking for his Blade of the Ruin King as item number 1. As much on hit as possible is going to be the aim of the game here.
Yeah, that's going to be the way it plays out, and Lucid going to come over here, steal some Raptors away. The next objective is going to be the next Drake, and this is where I think Kwangdo Freaks
but
really need
there's
to
nowhere to go now, guys. There's a lot of casters that don't have work, really good ones. You know, especially with like the Owl casters all being let go. Like, it's rough out there, man.
Lucid here once again. Showmaker joining
but, you know, that's why I built LFN. Because I knew this fucking day was coming, guys. And I knew it was going to be hard for a while to build this startup. But now the business is actually rolling, and it's a lot better. And at least I'm not the one who's fucked. And by the way, guys, LFN is designed to help other people also not be fucked. You guys know what I mean? Like, it is designed to give casters ownership of a company, because every caster at LFN, every person, has ownership in the company. And it's also designed to supplement their income so they're not entirely dependent on the garbage that's going on.
Joining him, they have swept out this brush. They know what's in position here, but Showmaker...
Anyway, back to the game. I really like the aggression we're seeing to get this Kog'Maw ahead, because like you can just imagine kind of the nightmare scenario if this Kog'Maw comes online, right?
There's the Arctic Assault. Glacial Prison connects onto Cuz, but he runs super quickly. Showmaker, can you actually get any...
Showmaker also just, I mean, everybody coming down here and trying to make this work. Showmaker gets wall banged. Actually, that's huge Papio. Cuz played that really well.
charge before he vacated the area. And that is going to be D+.
Bulldog here, like 10 years too late. Wastes ult, doesn't take plates.
Oh, that almost looked like Kwangdong were really playing some 4D chess, because the aggressive go in there, the call to push through and drop the Bull ultimate seemed wrong at first because they're outnumbered, and you have Talia who's pushing mid plate, so I get the idea, let's hold them here a little bit longer, let's grab some gold in mid. But then
I'd love to see a state of esports casting. Yeah, that's probably a 4 Horsemen topic we'll do soon.
And they really want this dragon, and this is exactly the type of aggression you need to do to make this composition get value before it times out. So, you know, I was just saying moments before this, they really need to make a play happen on dragon. They need to be aggressive, they need to be proactive, and they certainly were. And Bulldog grabs a second plate on this Talia. I mean, it's small margins, you know, that we're talking about here in terms of the gold. It's basically minus that first blood, pretty even. It's Hextech Soul, that's extremely important here.
That's a ridiculous Kog'Maw Soul. Kog'Maw Tristana with Hextech Soul, if that ever actually...
Yeah, that's crazy. The Hextech Soul.
Really trying to aim for that one. Of course, Lucian will benefit.
So it's Blade first.
Well.
I'm watching this build. Is it Blade Malignance?
And so now the fight is on. Every one of these dragons is going to be so incredibly important for both of these teams.
I mean, basically, Kwangdong Freaks can't give up any of these for the rest of the game.
No, I don't think so.
Because they have the ability to do so much more, and that gives them so much longevity too with their comp if they can secure them. It is very, I feel fortunate for Kwangdong actually in a lot of ways that this is the Drake we get, because if it was something like a Chemtech here, then D+ could just run around and avoid the Drakes and not care, but now they
Carry Elvis vibes for my current look. My hair's too long, I need to cut it.
Further accelerated and try to, you know, hit those mid-game spikes before the Kog'Maw becomes such a huge juggernaut.
Yeah. Not to mention, you know, Lucid and Kingen are going to become brick walls. You've got Showmaker scaling alongside.
Because top 3 jungler, we'll see. He's doing very well. He was definitely last year.
Supports as far as keeping your teammates alive.
Agreed.
In the game. So, yeah, I think I'd probably try and bypass.
You know, Owner was actually actively bad in Summer Split of last year. He was the worst member of T1, especially without Faker.
Because they weren't able to snowball any advantages. Looking like that.
So Peanut, I think, was number 1. Because was probably number 2 last summer.
This is also not going great here for Kingen, who is just looking to clear the wave. And there's a pesky Talia there denying cannons.
Yeah, that's not even like a Leandri's on the Talia. Okay, Doo-Doo?
Yeah, Lucid going to throw the ulti, gets the flash out from the Aatrox, and they'll say that's good enough.
I see more attack speed.
That's all they can do here.
This is not filling me. Daggers in Aiming's inventory is not filling me with confidence, guys.
Really tough to do with the Frozen Heart, which I'm actually not 100% sure was done at that moment, but is done now.
Well, aiming, taking a lot of damage here.
Bull doing a really good job of just chunking out when he sees the opportunities with culling.
For this Kog'Maw.
Andil very aggressively positioned here, and they want to burst somebody down if they overextend. I mean, Lucid could be the target.
Yeah, not going to get stunned. The Heroic Charge does come in, but Lucid can't press Q to get out of dodge. There is a steadfast presence still. Kingen down here on the bottom side. Going to be clearing out a wave. Not sure why we necessarily checked in on that, but good to know.
I think it's just really checking in on the fact that Kwangdong Freaks don't have anyone to catch it. Even a question mark ping going down there. Somebody's got to get that money. It will be Bulldog.
No, casters are not eligible for SAG Union membership. I actually looked into that. Oh, Lucid, no!
He's very young, so driving may not necessarily be his forte. And then Shelly is, in fact, just not going to charge at all.
I have to say, the way the Herald works when you first board it is very jarring if you're not used to it. And so it is very
the way you have to initially aim is, it's not necessarily the most intuitive.
So I can, you know, like if he's
No, Lucid's a jungler who's played 100 games of solo queue since at least 100 games of solo queue, 200, 300 games of solo queue. As a jungler, you should be driving that thing more than anybody else.
Speaking of whoopsies,
he absolutely should not make that mistake in the 3rd week of the season.
Earlier than expected.
Yeah, kind of a problem. I don't want to get hit by those long-range shots either. Now, this next fight...
Okay, well, that's just a dead Doo-Doo. Didn't have flash, didn't have any way out, and Cuz also now in trouble. Look at the damage from aiming. Living Artillery flying over the tidal wave is going to get Cuz out of there, and now Bull looking to try and get even more aggressive. Keepers
all right.
comes down, gets rid of the
Nice Poppy-ult. He's going in, gets the Q on him.
Now missing, Kellen has to flash.
Whew.
And sorry, the Cogmore stayed around, but it was Lucid that was gotten rid of, so no frontline, no ability to tank that culling. Cute little play there from Cuz. Not able to get any kills, but they got a lot of key cooldowns.
Yeah, they got a lot of cooldowns. They were able to push D+ away. Now, this next fight, though, that is coming up here in 30 seconds is so pivotal for both teams. To get this Dragon is actually massive, and some of those cooldowns that are gone now here for D+ are really going to sting. Of course, Dudu still doesn't have his flash just yet. Bulldog does have Weaver's Wall, which he could use as a zoning tool in this fight. So go back to this on Dudu one more time. Just eats way too much damage. Showmaker stacks it up here. Good ult, very simple, and with no flash on this Aatrox, you're probably just going to be able to lock that one up. Very easily played. And now this Dragon, let's see if D+ can fight their way into getting Prio, because Kingan's not here. He doesn't have teleport, and Talia's pushing that bottom wave. She has, like I said, Weaver's Wall, so as long as Dudu can get down here, I mean, D+ are going to have to fight their way through this, front to back.
Yeah, Lucid can provide that extra front line as well. But
All right, good angle for Talia.
that is going to be the important thing. Can break off a lot of these targets aiming. No flash, no way to get over this wall whatsoever. Living Artillery means that he doesn't really need to worry.
Chains pulling Lucid back. Oh.
Infernal Chains come in. Kingan tanking up a lot.
Oh man, that Udyr empowered R there.
50. Can he actually take it away? The answer's no, cuz just too cool. Able to take this Smite fight his way.
Health bar's low here. I like this D+ just trying to force something.
All right, there is the fadeaway jump shot from Lucid. Looks for Andil. He gets blown away.
He doesn't even have a chance. He doesn't even have a chance to use tidal wave.
I like this D+ just trying to force something.
And this is crazy. This is crazy by Kwangdong. You have been chunked out, and you are walking into a pink warded brush when they're just trying to take down mid turret. Like, hold the W, Kwangdong, for God's sake.
Lucid looks for Andil. He gets blown away. And now Dudu getting into that front line. Lucid will go down a 1-for-1, but not exactly. All right, there is the fadeaway jump shot from Lucid. Looks for Andil. He gets blown away. And
if Kog'Maw had been here, this would be an entirely different. This would be an entirely different issue. Like, Cuz knocks Kog'Maw away.
There is the fadeaway jump shot from Lucid.
If the Poppy ult doesn't hit here.
All right, there is the fadeaway jump shot.
If the Poppy ult doesn't fit here, I think Kwangdong might just like straight lose Baron. Like, honestly, because they're face checking this brush, and if the Kog'Maw is here, they're going to be able to run all these guys down and then take Baron at spawn.
Fight his way.
Health bar's low here. I like this D+ just trying to force something.
All right, there is the fadeaway jump shot from Lucid. Looks for Andil. He gets blown.
You know what I mean? Like, that is a super dangerous situation. Like, Kog would absolutely clean that up.
Not exactly the main characters being taken away on either side.
I do not like that at all from Kwangdong. You do.
That's a teleport. That is, I guess, a teleport that you could do. Seismic shove, not exactly going to.
They save mid turret though, and they only trade their support for it, so actually worth for Kwangdong, but very risky, I think.
So much Baron damage.
They do, and like
scary.
Very soon they will be able to just walk towards Baron and threaten these types of things. As Dudu, careful.
Yeah, this is an aggressive Kog'Maw. He has a lot of friends.
So that last fight, I feel like, Kwangdong Freaks is, I may have to hold my thought on this, might have a dive.
Yeah, Bull taking a fair bit of damage here as in comes Cuz. Seismic shove on that.
Oh my God.
And that gets rid of Showmaker. Kingan now running for his life. Thankfully he doesn't. Yeah, Bull taking a fair bit of damage here as in comes Cuz. Seismic shove on that. Two from Bulldog.
Hey, I feel
It's
like,
absolutely huge. They get too desperate to take down this turret. I mean, what's been interesting about the way Bull has been playing this matchup is that every time Aiming walks forward to try and use Cozy Campfire W, that's when Bull pops the culling and chugs him out. So he never actually gets an opportunity to use the range. I think Bull is playing this extremely well, guys. Especially because this is a non-meta pick, and he's probably having to think about this on the fly.
He's getting this done.
Right, but also right here, the timing's perfect because Cuz is right here, catches Showmaker, Q has W.
Last fight, I feel like, you know, Kwangdong Freaks is, I may have to hold my thought on this, might have a dive.
Yeah, we'll take
You know, if you're you get the Poppy on top of you is the Tristana, it's just fucking Jover, man.
From Bulldog, and that gets rid of Showmaker. King now running for his life. Thankfully, he doesn't have a dash, doesn't need to worry about it, and can run pretty quickly. But my goodness, that was the play they were looking for from Bulldog.
Absolutely. He's getting this done, and he's much closer now to his
I haven't
finishing. That is going to be a huge spike for him into these upcoming fights. I mean,
I haven't been super
just sheer strategy.
thrilled with Bulldog's Talia, but that was a very good one. I mean, I think his ult timings have not been super good. He's been getting caught out, especially a lot in the last game, but this game is better.
Or they just didn't set it up. The angle that Bulldog took to Weaver's wall there, how carefully they burned it down. They managed their health bar as well. They kept a zoning angle so that...
But you absolutely do not greed for the turret right there.
And it's just really cleanly played. And now
this is so... I think this is so psychotic from Kwangdong, guys. I think this is so psychotic. It is so greedy to take this fight. Like, I understand they know that Kog'Maw doesn't have flash, but if Kog'Maw doesn't get hit by that, oh lord, this would be such a problem.
To actually force this into a fight because they know aiming has to kite back the other direction, or otherwise he'll get picked when they make that play mid. So a bit of a split call from D+, and then this super decisive play from Cuz once again.
Cuz is the real hero here, by the way. Cuz is making all the plays.
Going over again here to Kwangdong Freaks and D+. I mean, they're still in it because they have such great scaling, but the lead they had before, it was small, but it's kind of worn away now. And one dragon, every time you see it locked up for Kwangdong Freaks, the fear is going to be there. Like, okay, is this Hextech Soul going to be what gives Kwangdong Freaks his comp the late game longevity, the slows onto this Kog'Maw to lock him down? That's your fear right now if you're a D+ fan.
100%. And Kwangdong Freaks now just taking care of some side lanes, wanting to make sure that they just keep this ball a-rolling. Still behind, but only a little bit of gold now. That might be extended, though.
Here comes the Kog'Maw gank.
For a little bit of a back, and
here he is.
Going to be able to stop it. Living artillery, of course, pretty frustrating there. As aiming takes up 2 turret shots.
What?
And then yeah, he's going to get.
What? No!
And they get Baron.
Ah!
It might be happening. The upset might be happening, Atlas. Warning.
It certainly might, but with how D+ are playing today, is it an upset?
Dude who has TP.
The Korean Preds, they knew it was a 50-50 on their side, and this Baron is going down extraordinarily low. Lucid, can you be the hero as Glacial Prison does get in there? He gets over the wall. It's pretty low, but there's the
Cuz is fucking legend, dude. Cuz won this game.
Call from Kwangdong. Huge mistake from aiming on the bottom side of the map, but they just make the call. And Dudu was saying, if they dive me, we got to try to rush Baron. We'll try to do something. But in fact, they get a kill and get Baron, and they have...
I mean, okay, let's talk about this. Baron's up, guys. Baron's up. Like, why are we AD carry ganking the bottom side of the map with your, you know, with your Kog'Maw? By the way, Kog'Maw has no summoners.
There's no flash on the Sejuani. They reacted to that so cleanly.
Kingen does troll this, though. Like, why isn't Kingen taking aggro? Why are they not waiting for the wave?
A little bit unforgivable. You got no wave, my man. Good flash buffer here into the queue. And the D+ fans are not happy with that one.
Aiming, throwing.
That is a whoopsie. Yeah. And good, says Cuz.
Cuz the real hero there.
If they verdict, and the verdict is that the Baron does go to Cuz. Extraordinarily low. Lucid, can you be the hero as Glacial Prison?
Watch Cuz here. So, as Poppy, you don't want to stand behind the Baron because then all the spikes hit you, right? But as the Baron's getting low, popping W so that he can't come over the wall. Now, he tries to make sure he can't get over the wall at all, but failing that, he just immediately channels his ult, 2300 HP. Perfect secure.
What a decisive call from
You know, Cuz is not known as a Poppy player either, so...
But they just make the call, and Dudu was saying, if they dive me, we got to try to rush Baron. We'll try to do something. But in fact, they get a kill and get Baron, and they have Nami ultimate. They know this.
So let's take a look at this in the bot side.
Kill and get Baron, and they have Nami ultimate. They know.
So Kingen actually has turret aggro here. You see the first shot heading over his way. Then he walks out. He walks out, and it re-aggroes onto aiming.
You got no wave, my man. Good flash buffer here into the queue.
So it was not a good play regardless, guys. Regardless, it's not worth it to attempt to make that play.
Not happy with that one. Bit of a whoopsie.
That is a whoopsie. Yeah. And good, says Cuz.
Yeah, he also might have been saying good, the term for like ending.
Yeah,
things.
we're done.
It's done. Yep. It's done. And that is how this game feels right now because it was very close. It was very like, all right, aiming is scaling to one big error, a Baron goes over, and now the whole map belongs to Kwangdong Freaks again, just like game 1.
And Lucid was standing on a ward there as well. Bull going to be able to clear out a whole bunch of the vision here for D+. The map is getting smaller and smaller for these guys as Lucid wants to be able to get himself out of there, or does he? Seismic Shove comes through once again. Showmaker's over the wall. He can't shoot anyone though. And now Lucid just going to get charged. They do a fair bit of damage. There's a flash over. Lucid still alive, but Bull able to get him with a double tap, and aiming has to flash as well. Another Seismic Shove from Bulldog.
Look at Bull's face!
Man.
Look at his face as well. He knows it, man. This is such good, clean team play from Kwangdong. And you know what? I will get hyped a little bit about Kwangdong right now because, yes, D+ are not playing their best series.
Kwangdong has made a lot of whoopsies in this series that I think are going to be punished by good teams, right? Like, it hasn't been the cleanest, especially in the way that they've tried to close and apply pressure, but, you know, it's been pretty good. It's been a lot better, that's for sure.
Then he locks them in with Weaver's Wall. No fear. The decisive nature of Kwangdong Freaks that we're seeing in this series is just not something we've consistently really ever seen from this team. And when I see signs of life in a team like this where something is clearly clicking this week, and you see Bull is pumped as hell when they're making these plays, that is the sign of a team who's shown growth over this break over the weekend and might be looking for that 3-game streak, taking out D+ here. Big wins in this one. Look at that shove again. Aiming has to flash back.
Yeah, you love to see it. Like, I was hyped for Kwangdong coming in because of the rumors. And because I thought, all right, like, this is year 2 after having kind of a rookie roster. And, man, Bull has really been he's been the juice, man, that this team needed to really get going.
Once again, Bulldog does have to use the cleanse. It does so, and he'll be fine. And Kellen is going to be pushed away. Lucid now having to run for the hills as well, down to 50%. Cuz has him in heroic charge range, uses that on a minion in order to close the gap. So you can see, look at the aggression. Baron's still there for another 5 seconds.
I mean, there's the amount of aggression required to keep this composition relevant is quite high. But
oh man, I kind of hate the Ginsu second. I was really hoping we'd see Malignance, considering we have a mid Tristana.
And they just keep getting these flips over and over and over again. D+ always under siege.
Well, here's another Weaver's Wall.
Maybe this is just the best build. I'm not super well versed on the new Kog'Maw builds. Obviously, it's not a champion we've seen a lot in professional play or at all. But based on the Corki builds, I would have thought that, like, you know, Blade Malignance Eclipse would be pretty sick.
The checklist, right? Like,
but
they are suffocating them out. They are keeping up the pressure. And Cuz is looking for another keeper's verdict. Seismic Shove is going to allow them to get Lucid out of there. Might buy them a window. And they only need a window in order to take down these turrets.
I mean,
yeah, Bulldog Talia has not been great. He's certainly not one of the better Talia players.
You don't need Weaver's Wall for anything important.
In LCK.
What you need is deep vision, map control, and any turret off the map that you can get. And those commit
this is not the best build as a Cog connoisseur.
It's not going to give you room to breathe. If aiming actually gets caught a little bit better over that Weaver's Wall, he goes down. Speaking of going down.
Yeah, Dudu is going to have to press his ultimate button. Kingan's going to come on over as well. They have a fair bit of CC in this area. And Dudu will
Cuz has made all of the plays this game. Like, let's be very clear, Cuz is the real hero of this game.
A little bit of reckless solo queue abandon this game.
But Bull played the matchup into Kog'Maw super well, and he actually, with the culling every time, has prevented the Kog'Maw from being super oppressive or for getting a bunch of poke damage down. So you have to give Bull some credit here. I think he's playing into this very nicely.
So 2 minutes time, and we will have a fight for a potential soul on the side of Kwangdong Freaks.
If Kingan is here, they have an easy time defending this turret. He's not.
Well, Bulldog is going to get hit by a few buttons, because so tanky. There is no chance he's going down anytime soon, and some bounty gold now picked up, so that's a little bit more. Bull now looking for Showmaker, who just rocket jumps away. Extra movement speed, of course, Nami helping out there as Showmaker gets himself a bit of a massage. And my God, he almost dies.
If he had Gale Force, he probably does die. That was impressive to see. And I did it again. I called Dudu Kingan because we're in the whole Aatrox thing. But
oh yeah, well he's doing some make believe. He's pretending to be good.
Oof. Too
Yeah.
real at the moment. Well, don't say it out loud when D+ are about to potentially get 2-0 by Guangdong Freaks Atlas.
I mean, he's using his skin, is what I meant.
Oh, yeah.
You know, nothing else.
Okay, sure.
No, I wasn't making that because you know it is his skin.
Right.
Yeah.
Same issue.
Yeah.
Same issue here.
Yep. So the blue buff going to be secured here by Bulldog. That's going to give it to everyone as we are 28 minutes into this game. It's only 4-4 as far as the kill score is concerned, and D+ aren't actually that far behind in gold. But the state of the game feels so incredibly Quantum.
It just feels so bleak.
It's insane.
It feels so bleak because.
Oh, it's a minute until Soul comes up, so it's pretty bleak.
Milio support. They have Lucid on Sejuani, but if there's no follow-up because you have no map control and you can't be there to follow up on Lucid's ults, he just can't ult anymore. Like, he doesn't have an ult target. There isn't really somebody to punish. I mean, Kingen gave them that opportunity a moment ago when he went, or sorry, Dudu, I did it again. Dudu went super deep on Kingen's skin and was picked there earlier, you know, trying to get into the blue buff. But beyond that, forward, and Bull is constantly putting the pressure on with this Lucian. This is like a def level performance we're seeing on the Lucian from Bully, where he's just constantly confident enough to walk forward and put that pressure on while never really being in engage range. And he's got cleanse, so if Sejuani ults him, he's like, thank you for the ult.
Yeah, and they're going to need a whole lot more than just that. It's now D+. All 5 stacked up, running away from Bull, who, like you said, just playing so aggressively. Bulldog does find the shot
Actually get the W.
onto Lucid, and he throws out the ultimate. They're looking for Cuz, but he's not the target that they want. Bull able to stand up and say,
Mikhail's instantly used by Nami.
That is going to be something that
Onto
D+
Poppy.
listen to. You see Showmaker just wanting to get these autos off, but the way Bull's weaving is actually so good. And now Kingen possibly going to get evicted from the area, but no, it's just going to be a free soul. I mean, that's Hextech. Get these autos off, but the way Bull
I just have no pressure the entire time, and Dudu's just on the Drake. They have no engage because Sejuani ult is down.
Just wanting to get these autos off, but the way Bull's weaving is actually so good. And now Kingen possibly going to get evicted from the area, but no, it's just going to be a free soul.
I mean, that's Hextech soul. That's Hextech soul. You can't just let that go. Pushes them away. They control the choke point, and then Clutch just spins around and doesn't.
Giving up that Baron was so deadly. Man, it's too bad because I really wanted to see how the game plan actually evolved for D+, but giving the Baron was disaster. Oh my God, Cuz! Holy smokes. Cuz is fucking playing out of his mind. Oh man, I love Poppy too, so that made me very happy.
Now he can use it to defend Baron.
Yeah, and now they have to face check.
That's a really good bait by Guangdong. It's a really good bait. Ah yes, the old triple knockup. Forces Showmaker to flash because of Poppy W.
And Kingen has to try and run away. The seismic shove doesn't find him there.
He eased to a minion. Guys, W's. And then what a legend. Does he have to flash for that? It's a fucking hero game from Cuz, my God.
Is going to be taken down, and now Dudu, he can just go further forward. They can look for even more, and it is obliteration here at the hands of the Guangdong Freaks. And I think that the best pickup in the offseason has to be Cuz, man. He's so good, and the way that he's already meshed.
Yeah, shout out to Cuz. I know a lot of the hype's around Bull, and I think Bull did play well, but Cuz played out of his mind this game.
It was on other people's.
It was a 2-0 stomp as well.
All right, guys. I think that Guangdong is still obviously making quite a few mistakes. I mean, they're getting caught out a little bit more than they should have. Maybe not playing out their advantages perfectly. They did get picked off. I think game 1 was a little bit of a draft diff that made it very difficult for D+. And then, you know, some of those macro mistakes by D+ really, especially the Kog'Maw dying in bot, really like opened up the opportunity to take the Baron there. So a bit of an oopsie. But yeah, overall, really good play. It's encouraging to see Guangdong doing better, obviously, because we want, you know, a more competitive league. And this is a very fun team to watch at the moment. But really, like, Bull's been doing well. Cuz has been doing super well. Dudu's been playing super well. Bulldog, maybe not the most impressive, getting caught out a little bit more than he should, potentially. Andil also looks better. All in all, definitely a fun time to be a Kwangdong Freaks fan. All right, guys, I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to do the NIP versus JDG match because my family's been out for the last couple of days, and so they are coming home. So I've got to go spend some time with them. But we'll be back tomorrow for more matches at an earlier time. I was obviously very late today. I was dealing with some other stuff this morning. Tomorrow, LCK games are kind of butt cheeks, but LNG versus Weibo and Thunder Talk versus OMG over in LPL will probably both be very interesting. I also already saw the JDG versus NIP live last night when I was waiting for Power Spike. So LNG Weibo is going to be a banger. Thunder Talk has been like low key, very entertaining with UCal and 1XN, their new rookie AD carry. So yeah, I will see you guys then. See you tomorrow.